So that's where we've just been.
Yeah. And then you walk right through here. I'm sorry. Right through here to the tower. So this is the tower wing, which is 23 floors, and this is where a lot of the
all
the students will be. As we go through to the west wing, and this is where a lot of the other schools will do their catering and dining, and this is where the registration area will take place.
And then this is the West Wing rooms, where the tag along will do, the alumni will be at.
It's a little.
Okay, this is how you use your Oyster card for the tube. This is what your meal voucher booklet will look like. Each booklet will contain 10 pounds worth of vouchers. On the inside you will see that some of them are worth 2 pounds, some are worth 1, and you just tear off what you need to purchase food. And on the back you will see the restaurants that will redeem these vouchers.
One of the most spectacular views of the castle comes from the River Thames. Derek Trumper is an official Windsor tour guide.
Well, there's been a castle here in Windsor for over 900 years because the original castle was a Norman castle, and that was back in about 1070. And then the castle has grown to what you see now. Now, while you're looking at the outer walls of the castle now from where you're standing, most of this was built in the 13th century, about 1250. And prior to that, of course, it was a wooden castle with wooden towers where you've got the lovely round towers now. Now, of course, if you were attacking the castle, it was very easy because being a wooden castle, you could burn down the walls very easily and breach the defences. So in the 13th century, after we'd had a couple of sieges of the castle, they built the castle in stone. And basically what you're seeing now is a 13th century castle.
Send him to the Tower. A phrase that has struck fear into the heart of the English for nearly 1,000 years. Started by William the Conqueror in 1078, the tower was built to keep the newly conquered English out, but its massive walls, portcullises and arrow slits were instead to become notorious for keeping people in. This prison wasn't for everyone, though. Only high-status political and religious prisoners got the privilege of being held here. Some of its famous inmates include Sir Thomas More, imprisoned for refusing to accept Henry VIII as a head of the Church. He was beheaded and later made a saint in the Roman Catholic faith. the tragic princes in the tower, allegedly victims of their Uncle Richard's quest for power. Not all prisoners have survived the test of time. Some are remembered only by the graffiti that they left on the walls during their long imprisonment. The walls of the Beauchamp Tower, especially on the first floor, are covered with graffiti, left by Tudor prisoners. Prisoners of the Salt Tower include John Balliol, the Scottish king, imprisoned here in 1296 for 3 years. Hugh Draper, an innkeeper from Bristol, accused of practising sorcery. Traitor's Gate was the one-way ticket into the tower from the River Thames.
Salisbury Plain in southern England, 2500 BC. At the same time as the pyramids in Egypt are under construction, workers here complete the outer circle of Stonehenge. They haul huge rocks, some weighing up to 45 tons, across rough terrain. They work each granite-like stone into shape, then pull them upright to form the great stone circle. Thousands of people work on this massive project. When they complete this phase, an inner horseshoe of 5 great arches will be enclosed by a ring of 30 stone uprights and topped by a circle of perfectly horizontal stones called dentils. But while we know this was an incredible feat of engineering, who these people were and why they built Stonehenge has remained one of the great unsolved mysteries of the ancient world.
The ancient Roman baths are the town's sightseeing centerpiece. High society here goes all the way back to Roman times, when big shots enjoyed the mineral springs at Bath. From Londinium, Romans traveled to Aqua Sulis, as the city was called, to take a bath. Eventually, the name became simply Bath. This ancient Roman pool is still lined with its original lead, 9 tons of it. You can almost imagine those Romans lounging around, sipping wine, schmoozing, just like they did in faraway Rome. Today, a fine museum surrounds the ancient bath. Roman artifacts and the remains of a temple pediment evoke a sophisticated city. The hot thermal water still bubbles, as it has for nearly 2,000 years, past ancient Roman bricks. Enjoy some quality time looking into the eyes of Minerva, goddess of the hot springs.
After Rome fell in the 5th century, these old pools silted up, and Bath was forgotten as a spa. Over 1,000 years later, when those English queens came here to soak and believed that its curative waters actually helped them become pregnant and deal with their gout, word of its wonder waters spread, and Bath was back on the aristocratic map.
High society soon turned the city into one big pleasure palace. The Pump Room, an elegant Georgian salon just above the Roman baths, offers the visitors' best chance to raise a pinky in this neoclassical grandeur. Drop by for a fancy 3-tiered afternoon tea, or just sip the curative spa water.
Okay, so Bath water.
Yes, this is bath water. Generally, this has got about 43 different minerals in it, things like arsenic, bromide, calcium, lithium. So it's made of a lot of earth metals, very, very high mineral content. This water is about 10,000 years old and comes to a temperature of about 116 Fahrenheit, so about 44 Celsius.
And what does it do for me? Is it going to make me live forever?
Generally, it will cure a number of different illnesses, things like rheumatism, gout, if you're suffering from impetigo, angina. So mainly it's almost a sort of painkiller in a way.
Well, it tastes bad enough to be healthy, I guess.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So,
Thanks.
cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to London, marching Southerners.